Good evening, everyone. My name is Manish Bhatia, and I am the founder of the Trainer Network TNW. And TNW, first of all, wishes each one of you a very, very happy new year. TNW, I'll just give you a brief about TNW first, quickly. TNW is India's #1 web directory for experienced trainers and coaches. We are fulfilling the requirements of both the sides for trainers and coaches as well as the organizations. So if you are a trainer, you can register on our website. And if you are from HR or L&D or someone who's responsible for the employee training, you can also come and visit, register with us and see the profiles of the trainers and coaches. Today, the conversation is about image consulting. Very interesting topic. And I have with me two certified image consultants here to answer your questions and get in conversation with us. Please welcome Parul Kaushal and Reba Coelho. And I hope I have said your name correctly, Reba.
Yes, I actually added another E to my name.
Great, great. So I'll start with you, Parul. Parul, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
You're on mute.
Parul, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Parul Kaushal. I'm a certified image consultant and a grooming, etiquette, and styling coach. And I'm the founder of Panache Image Consulting. So I have been, I love my job. I thoroughly enjoy interacting with, professionals, be it women, be it men, the youth, the children. And I just help them to see the best in themselves, get the best version out with the help of working on the aspects of image management, be it your clothing, your dressing, your grooming hygiene, your etiquettes, and body language. So this is what I do. And over to you, Manish.
Reba, over to you now. Just quickly, brief introduction.
Awesome, sure. So hi, good afternoon, good evening, actually, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Reba, and I am a certified image consultant and a certified soft skills trainer, also a certified TTT trainer. So I primarily work in the educational and the edtech space. Also worked with pharma companies, IT companies, on various training topics. Trained over 2,000 people or learners to date. I also work in various fields of soft skills and image consulting and image management. So yeah, my goal is to work with young adults. So I like to work with professionals anywhere between the ages of 20 to 35, because I think I can create a very large impact at that age with these kind of learners. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Parul and Reba. Thank you so much. Reba, let me start with you. I have a very curious question for you. Image consultant or image management, what exactly does it mean? I mean, just let our audience know about it. And it is a broader category. To me, it is a broader category. What exactly do you think it is, covered under this category? Please.
Superb. So, we always get this question, I think, whenever we do any kind of training. But we'd love to sort of clarify that for you, right? A lot of people think we're fashion stylists or we're purely into styling, which is not true. We really work on visual communication. That is what image consultants do. That is what we focus on. That is what our priority is. So, the moment you have a change in any role or any goal in your life, the moment there is a change or there's a new career path that you're taking, a new milestone that you're achieving, right? Whether you're someone who is just a student going into college, like a 10th grader going into college, or from your TY degree, you're going into the corporate space, or from the
Yeah.
corporate space, you're now becoming a manager. Whenever there is this sort of a career change or there's some milestone change in your life, that's when image consultants come into play. And we help really communicate whatever your message is through visuals. So we work on your appearance, we work on your behavior, mainly through etiquette and through a little bit of soft skills. And we work, of course, on your communication and digital presence. So we call it the ABCDs, right? Appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. That is what we do as image consultants. We really, really believe in first impressions. We strongly feel like the moment someone looks at you, you form a first impression of someone. We create snap judgments. Okay, I'm not going to call them judgments because I don't want to call you guys judgmental people, but we make these really quick snap judgments based on all of our past experiences, our upbringing, our cultural upbringing, the way we are born and brought up, the kind of families we live in. We make really quick decisions, right? Our job as an image consultant is to take control of that, because I know today that all of you sitting in this classroom were going to form first impressions of me. So I can take control of that. And that is exactly what we do for everybody who comes to us, any kind of person. So
Right.
that is what image consulting is about.
I think that was great. Parul, would you like to add something to this? What Reba has just said.
Absolutely. So as we said, first impression is the last impression. I think it still holds true for a lot of individuals and industries still. So it's just not that the way you walk, when you enter a meeting room, when you call for an interview, when you enter the room, people just form a judgment about you. And it's all a combination of just not what you're wearing. It's a combination of how you entered, how you sat, how you shook your hand with the person who's taking the interview at the panel. So it's a combination of your clothing, your dressing, your grooming, your hygiene, your body language, etiquettes, and communication. So it's just not that we are stylists and we'll just tell you that okay, bas ye pen lo and you'll be looking great. No, we will go to the depth of it. That what exactly, as Reba said, your roles, goals, and occasions are very important in image management. It's just not that I'll just pick up something and say that you wear it and you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. Because whoever comes to an image consultant has a goal in mind that they want to reach somewhere. Okay. He's a manager. He just wants to climb the corporate ladder. So he has a goal. So if you have a role, what you're playing, you need to be true to that, and you need to be appropriately conducting yourself. When I say appropriately conducting, then all the factors have to be taken in mind, right? So
Right.
I think it's a proactive step to your personal mastery when it comes to image management, that you are aware, you want to take control of your image, and we help you to project an everlasting, impactful, positive impression at all times. It's just not that one meeting you're going out for, you want to be dressed and you want to project a very powerful image, but this other person meets you somewhere the next day and say, oh, I can't relate to this person. So it's
Yeah.
all the time you need to take control the way you conduct yourself, and then it will have an everlasting and a very impactful impression in the minds of others.
Perfect. I think that is it. I mean, is it safe to call it as an image makeover as well?
So I think Parul would agree. We don't like to say makeover per se. It's not our favorite word.
Yeah.
We like to look at you. We really study an individual. Okay, we really study their personality. We really study what they like, what they don't like. We really understand the person before we suggest anything. And then what we give them is very close to, if I suggest something for you to wear, if I suggest a color, if I suggest a fabric or pattern, it's very close to what you already like. So I'm not changing you as a person. So we don't like using this word makeover. I think Parul would agree. I don't know. Parul, you could add.
Absolutely. It's like, see, everybody is not born good looking, but we help you to become good looking and attractive in a way. So we're not looking at what you don't have. So we will highlight your positives and we will camouflage the things which are little you feel conscious about, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah, so we're not stylists, we are not fashion designers here. So what we do, I think the best thing as an image consultant is that we understand your personal style. If I don't like wearing polka dots, sorry, if you don't like wearing polka dots, I'm not going to get you to wear polka dots. If you don't like wearing a saffron color, I'm not pushing you to wear a saffron color. So I will give regard to your personal style, to your lifestyle, to your body shape. We do your face shape analysis, we do your body shape analysis, we understand your personal style, lifestyle, and then we come to a conclusion that what exactly will work for you. right? So
I
that's how
think
it is.
that is good because you guys actually read the minds also. You have answered my next question also. I was about to ask you this. But yes, there is there is one more point that I would like to ask you is who are these people who actually most likely hire an image consultant? Reba, what do you say about it? Who
Yeah,
are
so
these
just
people?
going Yeah, so just going back to, what I said initially is that the moment anybody who's having a transition in their life. So like I mentioned, it could be a college student, it could be someone like an early working professional, it could be someone who, has identified or realized that, hey, I've been passed on this manager promotion because my bosses don't think that I project the right image. So he would then come to an image consultant. It could be someone who's looking for a life partner. It could be someone who knows he's a director and he's going to become like maybe an SVP, a senior vice president, or a VP, and he already knows that his bosses don't think that he looks the part, so he
Yeah.
wants to start looking the part. And that's when these people come to us, right? It could be a working mother who's just had a baby, and she, at that point in time, mothers feel like their entire body has changed, okay,
Yeah.
and they have low self confidence at that point in time, and that's when they come to us, because we're going to really enhance what we feel are your best features, and then we're going to try and hide whatever you think is a problem area for you. And that's what we do. So it could be anyone under the sun, right? Anyone who's having a transition period, anyone who is stepping into a new like maybe a new limelight or a new position or a new career path. Anyone. It just could be anyone.
Right.
There's no limit. Yeah.
I think that's great because I also somewhere I had an impression some time back that the celebrities, the politicians, the high profile bureaucrats, these are the ones who would actually want to go in for an image consultant, to hire an image consultant, because they have to represent someone, themselves also, but they are representing a huge body behind them, so probably they are looking at. But for your as per your explanation and your answer, Reba, I think everybody needs that, right?
Everybody does.
Whosoever is going to a change, as you said that the promotions are happening, or somebody is joining a new organization right out of the college, probably yes, why not? Okay, Parul, I would come to you. We have both the genders here, male and female. So can you list? Is it possible for you to list just 3 things why an image consultant would be needed, considering both the genders?
Okay.
Common.
Yeah. So for an image consultant, I think people buy what feels good, right? So as an image consultant, you can give them that feel good factor, So we help you to get over your, we're not trying to change the kind of person you are. Okay, you be what you are, but we'll just enhance what needs to be enhanced. In
Right.
everybody, it's not that, we all are a mixture of positives and negatives. So whatever needs to be enhanced, we can enhance. So the top 3 things which I feel is what I have experienced is a lot of women come to me, facing uh, self-worth, low in confidence, these kind of issues, because they feel, as Reba rightly said, when you have a baby, your body transforms so much and your confidence goes down. You don't know what to wear. Okay, you feel that I'm not looking good in anything. So we help them to come out of that we're not saying, okay, of course you want to lose weight, that will happen gradually, but right now what we can make the best use of what you have, right? So people, so a lot of styling, issues people have. So I'm at this position, but when I have to travel, I don't have a wardrobe. I don't know how to what kind of clothes to carry for a conference, right? So it'll be styling, the basic issues that goes for men and women both, like clothes choices. I have to go for a board meeting, what do I wear? I'm representing my company in this event, what do I wear? Okay, just to talk, what do I wear? So it's styling, clothes choices, clothes coordination is, again, I feel,
Yeah.
it's a big gap. People feel that they're not able to understand what to do there. So yeah, so one would be styling, the needs, one would be your self-respect, self-worth, and one is your professional success.
Okay.
That's very important.
Okay.
So people who want to, they're changing a country,
Yeah.
they don't know the etiquettes part comes there. Okay, of course, the dressing and clothing, grooming part will come, but here etiquettes will help you to project an image where you can be, you're not left out. You don't feel left out. Okay, so and any employee who's suddenly got in promotion and the boss expects you to, take your clients out for dining,
Mhm.
and he's not equipped with all those skills. So dining etiquettes will come into practice there. So it's a combination of everything which will just help you to succeed in your personal, your professional and social lives.
Right, right. I think that is important for both the genders. Thank you so much, Parul, for answering this so beautifully. Reba, I'm just taking a cue from what Parul just mentioned. She mentioned that there's a guy who's just got promoted, and the boss expects him to take him out for dining. Okay, now we are talking about a corporate culture. What do you think? Is it really important for the organizations to start conducting sessions on image consulting or management? What's your
I think so. I strongly believe in this, So I've seen a lot of, I used to work at Deloitte, and when I worked at Deloitte, there was no casual Friday, okay? And now they've introduced this concept of casual Friday. I remember my managing director saying this one line that I think casual Fridays are taken too casually.
okay?
And that is the one reason why I don't want to implement casual Friday, right? People underdress so much, like they don't understand the difference between business casual and like super casual,
Yeah.
right? And the moment, and it makes a difference. And I always ask this question, and ask it to everyone sitting here as well. Like, there's definitely been one day in your life where you've maybe gotten up in a good mood and you've worn like a good outfit and you've gone to work and someone has complimented you. Just give me a yes or a no in the chat box, okay? I'd like to see this. Just give me like a Y or an N. I'm sure someone has complimented you, right? How did you feel at that point in time? Like, did you not feel good about it? I mean, just today, if I think about someone complimenting me based on what I was wearing, it makes me a lot more happier. If I'm in a good mood, I'm going to be in a better mood to work. If I'm in a better mood to work, I'm going to be more productive and more efficient, right? And yeah, I'm getting yeses on the chat box, right? So that's exactly what we're saying. I mean, why should you not dress up at work? And this whole culture, I think, is starting to get watered down just because the word casual is coming into play. People need to understand the difference between what is too casual, like an unacceptable for the workplace, versus business casual. And I think there's this misconception as well, I think Parul will agree, is that people think that, oh, when you're wearing a jacket or if you're telling you to dress up formally, you're not comfortable. Another thing that image consultants really don't force you to do, we will never tell you to wear something that you're not comfortable in. Comfort is key to us, okay? And today, if I was not comfortable in this outfit, I wouldn't be wearing it. Comfort is literally everything, and you can look good and still feel super comfortable. So we're not telling you to, go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. We're just telling you to try, just put in a little bit of effort. And that's why I think organizations need to start doing image management, because I think most industries are becoming client servicing now. I think even you'll agree, Manish, right? Most
Yeah.
of them are becoming client centric. And aren't you portraying some sort of an image to a client when you're going out? Aren't you representing the company in some way? And so would it not matter what you're wearing? Or if you're wearing like a t-shirt with some horrible print on it and like ripped jeans and chappals, and you're going for a client meeting, wouldn't the client think that you don't respect my time? I mean, who is this person? I mean, it's so natural, right? We as humans would tend to do that. So I think that line needs to be drawn, and that's why image management sessions should be conducted in companies as well.
I think that's a very valid point, because I myself have seen in the organizations on a Friday, as you call it, a Friday in the weekend, yeah, casual one. But I have seen people being very super casual. I mean, I think what they forget is that it still is a working day at the office.
Absolutely, absolutely. The
Yeah,
attitude also becomes casual then, if
Yeah.
you've noticed.
yeah, true. I think that is right. Okay, Parul, let me ask you something. You are an etiquette coach too, right? So
Right.
what is the relation between etiquette and image consulting? How do you do that?
Okay. So, yeah, Manish, it's a brilliant question. And see, we discussed that the image management ABCD, as we discussed. So,
Yeah.
appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. So, here in behavior, so your behavior is all about etiquettes, you'll agree, and your body language.
Yes.
Etiquettes is, there are several etiquettes. I'm sure we all would agree. There are dining etiquettes, there are travel etiquette, there are lift etiquette, there are washroom etiquette, there is a board meeting etiquette. So image management, so etiquettes cannot be left behind when I'm talking about image management. Because when you're protecting it, okay, just, let's look at a scenario. So you're taking an interview and one person walks in, very dapper, nice suit and everything, but he just he doesn't know how to shake hands. He has no eye contact when you're talking. Okay, he's leaning like this, he's slouching, and he's putting his head like this in an interview, and he doesn't know when to stop talking. So now what will you gather? Now will you give importance to just the nice suit, or how did he conduct himself?
Yeah. I would not look at just the suit, right? For sure.
That's what happens. So it has to be a whole, it's just not one thing. So it's the whole overall personality which is judged and perceived the minute. That's called non-verbal communication.
Right.
Your
Absolutely.
verbal is the minute you open your mouth, and non-verbal would be you haven't said a word, but people just form an impression in their mind. This he's like that. He's not, he doesn't. He's very badly behaved. He has no etiquettes, or maybe just a word. He has no etiquettes. Is he what of dead fish handshake? You come for an interview, your handshake needs to be a very firm one. You're not supposed to kill the other person, but doesn't have to be dead fish. He needs to understand the difference. What exactly is appropriate? Your conduct has to be very appropriate. So etiquettes cannot be left behind when we're talking of image management, and especially when it comes to, I feel there's a gap. I always take this example that, when you take a client out for dining, and how to hold the fork and knife. What is American dining? What is continental style of dining? Where do you leave the napkin when you're going to the washroom? When you finish with your meal, how do you keep your fork and knife? These are very simple things, but just they give an idea about the person, that how well, what etiquettes do you have, and how can you conduct yourself very confidently in all situations.
Right.
So that's how I feel etiquettes cannot be missed out from image management.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is very right that etiquette are very important factor in your personal branding, I would say. Okay, with this, I can move on to Reba. Reba, tell me, Parul has spoken about etiquettes and handshake, eye contact. So that is about an individual, which is like I would say him or her as a personally branded person, right? I mean, if he's doing everything all right. Now, how does this personal branding help in the professional goals?
Yeah, so I'll definitely explain that. So just to add on, to what Parul said when she spoke about etiquette, one thing that I've been noticing is that a lot of companies are now hiring character and training for skill. I think companies are starting to realize that I can train anybody, okay? Because my college degree doesn't really prepare me for the corporate world. Whatever I learned, and I think both of you will say when you all first got into the corporate world, I'm sure you learned everything at work. It's not like you had learned it in college. So companies have realized this, that I am anyways investing so much in this person, but I want someone who's decent. I want a nice human being. I want someone who's a pleasure to work with, right? And that's where etiquette comes into place. Your mannerisms comes into play over there, right? And the simple question I ask, and I'll even ask everyone over here, how often do we even say good morning to our watchman, right, down in the building? How often do we say thank you to the rickshaw walas? How often do we say thank you to our cab drivers, right? Or our drivers if we have personal drivers? It starts there. It starts at such a small level, at such a granular level. So that Parul is absolutely right. I mean, it's so important. In terms of personal branding, I mean, I read this analogy on the Medium, which is one of my favorite sites, and I'll use it. I'll definitely use it because everyone understands marketing, advertising, and branding, right? These three concepts. We think it's so important, right? Let me ask everybody: is it super important for your company, or if you have your own company, do you think marketing and advertising and branding is important, guys? I would love to ask them because the audience is like so quiet. I'm not used to it. Yes? Okay. So I'm getting some yeses. Okay, super. So it is super important, right? Okay, so just to explain the correlation of personal branding to your professional life, I think marketing is like how you see yourself. Okay, when you're marketing your company, it's literally how you see yourself, and the same applies to when you're marketing yourself. So, do I think I'm a confident individual? Do I think I have high self worth? Do I think I have high self esteem? If I'm wearing this outfit today, what do I want to portray? What message do I want to communicate? Today, if you're wearing that green sweater, it's saying something to both me and Parul. Manish, like whether you like it or not. Okay, it is giving us messages. So what is it that I want to portray? Do I want to show that I'm a casual, relaxed person? Do I want to show that I'm a professional? All of that is marketing. It's marketing yourself, right? It's marketing your personal brand. I then go to advertising, and I say advertising is how you act, how you
Yeah.
act in public, right? If you look at any company, the messages that they give out is what the company is supposed to represent, correct? Their taglines, their logos, their mottos, whatever catchphrases they have. It's all about talking. It's all the message, right? And the same thing applies to us. So it's how I act in public, how I behave, and this is again where etiquette comes into play. And then I finally say branding is how other people perceive me. So
Okay.
today, if I look at a company, Deloitte, and I automatically see, wow, brand value, right? 101. That company is known for brand value. I look at a Ernst and Young. I look at a HUL, a Hindustan Unilever. I look at a PNG. The first thing that I think is, oh my God, brand value, right? I want to work for this company. Why? CV pe acha lagega. Resume pe acha lagega. That's what we think. Why? Brand value. But
Right.
we've not gone and seen how much marketing and advertising has gone into creating that brand value. And
Absolutely.
that is exactly what personal branding is about, right? I
Mhm.
first need to market myself. I then need to advertise myself. And then only can my branding sit in that correct place, right?
Right.
So only then will people be able to see me as the brand that I want to be portrayed as. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of effort. We just look at a company or we just look at a person and we see the end result. But we're not looking at how much effort has gone on the like at the backside. And that's where Parul and I come into place, right? We are the people behind the exterior.
Behind the scenes, yes, I can say.
Yeah, behind the scenes. We are
Behind the
behind the
scenes.
scenes. Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right, absolutely. I think so. So, Reba, let me continue with this discussion. You and Parul both mentioned about a handshake. You mentioned about the green sweater that I am wearing. Okay, so how does one know about the unique and personal style of someone of yourself? How do you find that? How do you know that?
So we say that anyone, right? We tell them to go and look at your wardrobe. Just go
Okay.
and open your cupboard, look at the things that are placed inside your wardrobe, right? Are there lots of prints? Are those loud prints? Are those big prints? Do you have only solids? So I remember when I first joined the image consulting course, my wardrobe was just black and white, okay? And a few colors here and there, like one or two colors here and there. And it's only when I started learning and studying about image consulting that I realized, oh my God, I love color.
Yeah.
So just by going and looking at your cupboard, just looking at the clothes you have, you will start to identify what kind of a person you are. And that's what we do as image consultants as well. We do a wardrobe evaluation. So we look at everything that you currently have, and that's when we start to realize, okay, this is the kind of person that this is. Today, if you're wearing greens, I mean, I can definitely say that, okay, you're someone who likes to experiment with color because
Yeah.
it's not a dull green, it's not a
Yeah.
muted green, it's
Yeah.
a
It's
strong
a bright
green,
one.
right?
It's a
It's a
strong
bright
one.
one, absolutely. Yeah. It's a strong green. So today, if I'm wearing like this jacket, or Parul's also wearing a really good color, and we've all decided to wear it on the exterior, not on the interior, right? See, like Parul's wearing black inside, I'm wearing black inside.
Absolutely.
So it's all because we like color. So you automatically come to know that this person is a little vibrant. This person is a little energetic, right? And
Right.
those are the messages that you come to know. That's how you identify a unique personal style. So
Mm.
that's what we help you do. I mean, of course, all of you can definitely go open up your cupboards, look at what you have, and that's going to sort of give you a rough understanding of what your personal style is. Of course, you'll have to know what are the different categories of personal styles, but just to give you a small, like a snippet, is there's a yin and a yang, right? So, am I very dominating as a person, or am I sort of subordinate, and am I like a little calmer, nicer? What am I? So if you're someone who wears softer colors, no prints, solid colors, like just normal, very like you like looser fabrics, you're probably a yin. Like you have a not a very dominant personality. But if you're someone who has bright colors like the three of us, and if you have like nice bold prints in your cupboards, if you like wearing prints, if you can see a huge variety, if you like structured garments, like say what I'm wearing or what Parul's wearing, you're probably a little more yang, right? And there's no definite yin or yang. So, but I'm just giving you a rough idea, okay? You
Yeah,
can be a
yeah.
mix. Yeah, there's a lot that we do, but just to give you a rough idea of how to understand whether you're a little yin or you're a little yang.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess because of this discussion today on image consulting, define you, I chose to wear this color today. I guess
Ah,
Oh,
nice.
maybe.
maybe it's possible. You know what kind of message you wanted to send. Yeah, yeah.
No, no, I would talk to you later. What kind of a message had already gone? Okay.
Okay.
We'll see now next meeting what is he wearing. So we'll
Yeah,
have to
because in I think in the previous meeting that we had with Manish, he was wearing grey, okay? And it
That's
was like
very
post New
fine.
Year's. Yeah, he was tired from the late night party because we spoke on the first. So you automatically know, right? That is the reason
Yeah.
that I probably picked that color. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, Parul, let me talk to you because we have spoken about the grown-up individuals, the corporate executives and all that. So, is there anything for youngsters? I mean, students and all that. You have some program called Let's Start Young. What is that about? Tell me about that.
Yes, Manish. Okay, so this is my baby, if I can say. So I conceptualized this program. It's called Let's Groom Them Young.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was started by Panache, and I've been doing these kind of workshops for quite a few years now. But I got really, aggressive and active now this year with all these kind of workshops. So this is Let's Groom Them Young is a program for children. Okay, so it
Okay.
comes so two age groups, 6 to 12 and 12 to 15.
Okay.
Okay. So where again I take workshops for them where I address these issues on all the aspects: clothing, grooming, hygiene, etiquette, body language, and communication. So I also added this, aspect of positive body image for the kids. And I was amazed, Manish, that how the teenagers came and shared what they must have not shared this with their parents, but how open they were to share what they were feeling about these, because they all struggle, these tweens and teens, they struggle with these body self, somebody says I'm fat, I'm thin, I'm not tall, he's very tall, I'm dark. And they play a havoc on their self confidence levels, right? So I addressed that. It was amazing to see how they came and they shared how they're bullied. And it was so amazing that I asked them that who makes you conscious the maximum about all these things. And they
Yeah.
said parents.
Okay.
They said parents. And then I realized maybe sometimes we don't realize, but we're the first ones to point out that I think you need to lose weight. Look at what you start running, do some exercise. And
Ah,
yeah, so these small things. So I told them to focus on okay, maybe you're short but you have a beautiful voice. Okay, let's look at the positives. Maybe you're not too thin but you have beautiful eyes. So that's how I tried to help them, and it was a great session. So this is what I do. And I have trained quite a few college students as well. So in this lockdown, I've trained around 350 to 400 students. It was MBA colleges as well as school children, and all these aspects of power of personal appearance when you go for an interview.
right.
Okay, that came for the college students, the youth, that when you're going for an interview, what needs to be taken care of, what needs to be given importance, your clothes, the length of your trousers, the color combinations. You can't be wearing a pattern with a pattern.
Yeah.
Basic things. I don't get into too much of styling because they don't need it.
Correct.
But
Correct.
they need to be appropriately dressed. So they can't be going wrong on these basic things, which when somebody looks at you, you need to have that harmony in the way you look.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so let's groom them young. So I do this clothing and styling, age appropriate stuff with the children also, girls also,
Yeah.
around 12 years. I was amazed to see how much they shared and how interested they were. So it's all the program. So, I think this program can be done as an open workshop, and we can affiliate with schools as well and bring them, introduce these programs for the children, which can be a, quarterly or a monthly kind of a program. Because I truly feel that, kids, if they're taught these things right now, they will never be uncomfortable to go into any situation. They'll be confident from now on that how do they need to conduct themselves. See, if
Absolutely.
in a restaurant, I take these dining etiquette workshops. Very simple. How do you convey through your cutlery? Where do you leave your napkin when you're going to the washroom, right?
Mm.
So if you not like the food, what do you do? So table manners, basic table manners. If
Okay.
you want to pick up something from the table, are you supposed to jump across and get it, or you tell the person sitting on your right or left? You know,
Mm. Mm.
that basic things, I
Basic
feel
things.
if the kids, the generation is doing right now, they will not have a problem when they go ahead for their college interviews, for their jobs, if they're getting transferred abroad, they will fit in the crowd. And
Right.
that's what my motive is, that I want to make them very empowered and evolved right now. So that's the whole idea.
I think that is a wonderful initiative that you have taken, Parul, because these things are definitely not taught in schools. It is
Absolutely.
not in the curriculum at all.
Absolutely.
And these things are the ones which probably matter later in your lives. When you're getting professional and getting into larger companies or your own business or any industry that you are getting in. Even
Absolutely.
if you become a lawyer, that is something very different industry from corporates that we talk about. But even there also, if you are not taught these things in school, uh, it'll be difficult for you to handle those situations which come across suddenly, or if you're not able to handle those. I think that is great. I mean, you're doing wonderful. So apart from this, you're doing I've seen some styling videos of what is that all about? You make women look slimmer, or what, or is it for men also?
Okay, I would love to see. What I share with the women, I'm going to share. So if the men want to use it and give me their feedback, I'll be more than happy to receive that as well.
Yeah.
So I keep doing these. I had done a series, so every month I do a series with a different kind of clothing piece, and I collaborate with designers or fashion people who have
Hmm.
a product. So basically, it's all a women entrepreneurs thing. So I
Yeah.
collaborate with women entrepreneurs and I showcase their products. So yes, I did do a video on styling for women, because who want to look taller and slimmer. Okay, so that's a universal struggle, right? All women want to look taller, they want to look slimmer. So I said, let me make a video, and that got the maximum comments and the likes and everything. So I thought I have hit the right chord. Yeah, so basically I just like to share that. Okay, so if you want to look taller and slimmer, number one is monochrome. Monochrome is that you wear the same color from top to bottom. So it can be if you're wearing a peach, it can be different shades of peach. Okay, so that can go from top to bottom, so there's no cut. So when somebody looks at you, you're in the same color, so it gives you a little slimmer and a taller frame. Okay, then go the next would be, so whatever the color of your bottoms, please match it to your footwear. You will
Okay.
definitely look taller, because when somebody looks at you, again, it's an optical illusion, that when somebody looks at you, so you're from your trouser, from your waist till the end of your feet, it's one color,
Right.
right? So you tend to look taller again. Then V necklines. Don't wear covered necklines. When your skin shows a bit, you tend to look slimmer. It gives that leaner
Okay.
frame.
Okay.
Yeah, and V necklines and so your neck pieces also could be longer. So don't wear anything sticking to the neck. If you're really short, avoid wearing anything closer to your neck. Give it some length. So wear something which will finish, around your navel or little above. So you have different lengths of necklaces also. You can see that and accordingly you decide. And then if you want to look taller, you can tuck in. Then that won't go for slimmer if you have a little body variation around your waist. But if you want to look taller, then you can tuck in your top or your t-shirt. So again, because your top is not covering the half of your thighs area, then when somebody looks at you again, since you've tucked in your top from the waist till the bottom of your feet, it's just one frame and you tend to look taller. So
Okay.
these are
So I
some.
think these are some of the helpful tips for the women in audience with us today. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Parul. Reba, one more question for you. I just अभी दिमाग में pop up हुआ है. Okay, and now we have spoken about so many things that an image consultant can do. Okay, but is it still worth an investment to hire a image consultant?
True. I think it is, I mean, obviously my answer is going to be yes, because I want people to come and pay for my services. But let me explain why. I mean, when you come to an image consultant, say whatever advice Parul just gave to you, right? Or the suggestions that we give, the recommendations that we give, you have that for life. Okay. It's not like you have to keep coming back to us over and over again. You come to us once. If you start to implement it, if you understand it and you start to implement it, there are lots of clients who have come to me just once, and I've just worked with them on one project, one time, told them these are the things that you can do, and then automatically, they don't need that help anymore because they understood what their problem areas were and how to deal with it or how to tackle it. So you have that recommendation, or we create like a lookbook for you. You have that lookbook for life, and you don't need to keep coming back to us. The clients who do come back to us, and that's when it'll probably be a larger investment, is those clients who like to delegate. Okay, they are the kind of people who don't have the time to go and maybe look for outfits or look for things that would probably suit them, or they are the kind of people who just hate to shop. Okay, so there are tons and tons of people out there who just do not like to shop. So for those kind of people, it's a headache, it's a task for them, and so they want to lose that burden, so they keep us on retainer. And then of course every month we're sort of doing things with them. And Parul mentioned these are kind of people who travel a lot, so who go for business meetings a lot, who travel a lot, who have a lot of events to attend, who are like socialites maybe,
Yeah.
who constantly, people who are working with tons and tons of NGOs, people, even women whose husbands are either partners or senior like SVPs or VPs. Again, those kind of women also come to us because they want to look appropriate, right, for all the events that their husbands have to go to and they have to accompany them for.
Okay.
So in those kind of situations, people keep us on retainer and it becomes a little bit more of an investment. But we do have very affordable packages. So if you come to us once, and this has happened a lot with male clients, is that they come to me once. I suggest, if it's color, like a color analysis, I show you that these colors will work for you. I just need to be with you on one particular day. We show you that this is what works for you. We actually make you try on that color, and we ask you how you feel in that particular color or that particular style, right? And once you know it, you just go back to the same thing, no?
Right.
You don't need us again.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
a lifetime investment. And I
Mm.
always say the best investment you make is the investment you make in yourself. So if you're going to spend, if you just look at it, I mean, one pizza today is 500 bucks, and you're ordering it, like say 4 times a week, or if you're ordering a good pizza, it's about 1,000 bucks. You're ordering it 4 times a week, it's 4,000 bucks. So if you can spend 4,000 bucks on food, why not spend 4,000 bucks for the rest of your life, right? Where you're coming, you're looking much better, you're looking more appropriate, you're looking more professional, and you have that advice with you for the rest of your life. So people don't look at it like that. And image consultants always say, we don't make you buy new clothes. That's another huge
Yeah.
misconception. We don't make you spend and spend and spend. No, we don't. Okay, our whole concept, our whole motto is buy less and use more. We
Right.
actually calculate the cost per wear of every item that we make you buy. If we are going to make you buy something, we will calculate the cost per wear for you. So if I tell you to buy a jacket, if I told you to buy this jacket today, I will calculate how many times in a year you're going to wear that and show you how much is it cost you to wear it every single time. And it's
Right.
going to be like really low. Like sometimes it comes up to like 5 rupees and 20 rupees and 30 rupees. I'm sure Parul knows this, right? So would you not want to spend 30 bucks every time on yourself when you're going out and wearing an outfit? I mean, it's 30 bucks. Like
Yeah.
people don't look at it from that perspective. Okay, so even if you look at your sweater you're wearing today, when did you buy it? What was the price? How long has it been with you? And that's how we kind of calculate the cost per wear, right? How many times have you worn this? And when you sit to think about it, I'm spending like 5, 10, 20, 25, 30 bucks. So
Mm.
why not? So we always believe quality over quantity. I will any day tell you to buy something nice, a good fabric, and don't buy for the next 6 months or for the next 8 months. And
Correct.
of course, there are sales, right? I mean, everything is consumer focused right now. So you will get good quality at a recent, not a recent, a decent price. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think this is a very good valid point, Reba. Buy less and use more.
use more.
I
Yeah.
think there are a lot of people. I mean, I have seen it in my family as well. Okay, there are a lot of people who who have so much, who have their wardrobes full, but when they have to go out, they say that we don't have anything to wear.
Anything to wear.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is a common story all across, I guess, right? Okay.
So this thing, of why we feel like, oh, I don't have anything to wear. It's most likely because, just like Parul said, we teach you mix and match. It's
Yeah.
because people will just look at a particular jacket or a top or a pant and they'll say, oh, that looks nice, or they'll say, oh, it's on 70% sale, I should buy it, and then they buy it. And then when you want to buy something, you've now accumulated like 100 pieces like this, and nothing matches with anything. and then you're stuck, and that's why you have this notion in your head that I don't have anything to wear. So whenever an image consultant will tell you to buy something, we first look, we do a wardrobe evaluation to see how many outfits can you recreate with the new thing, the new
Yeah.
item that you're going to buy.
Yeah,
Right, so that is what we do. That is a difference between hiring an image consultant and going shopping yourself.
Absolutely.
Or if you can do this, I mean, don't hire an image consultant, but do it yourself.
yeah, correct.
Today, I mean, we're seeing that it's going to take a long time for fashion to become sustainable, and it's really up to us. I mean, fashion is polluting the entire world. Okay, and we really need to look at the polyester is not going out of this world anytime soon. And while there's recycled polyester and better versions of polyester, it's still harming the environment in some way or the other. So the only thing we can do is buy less and use more. That's the
Right.
only thing we can practice right now.
I think, yeah, I think that's a very, very, very valid and useful advice. I think people will benefit from this who are listening to this. They'll benefit from this. One quick question, we have to ask the audience their questions as well. One quick question, both of you. I did some research on image consulting and image management, okay? And I found that there are more women who actually would want to hire an image consultant than men. What is your personal experience here? Parul, I'll start with you. What is your personal experiences?
Personally, yes, I have got more women as of
Okay.
now. I have more women, as I said, so they're confused about what to wear because their body changes, so their self-confidence goes down. So I have met more of women who are in the need to look better, to feel more confident, and to be appropriately dressed according to the occasion. Okay,
Mhm.
these are the few things where I have met women who have these issues they struggle with, and they're like totally lost, right? So they don't know. So I have a client who's she wants to achieve a goal. So as I come back to this point that as an image consultant, we help you to dress up according to your role, goal, and occasion. Very, very important.
Right.
So so goal is that where do you see yourself? Okay,
Mhm.
I am at this level, but I want to get into that CEO level. So I will start dressing up right now
Yeah.
so that people can perceive me that, yeah, he or she wants to reach that, level. Then
Mhm.
your role would be right now what I am and how I want to be dressed, where people think I'm okay. If I'm an MD and I'm going to attend a board meeting, I need to be appropriately dressed, where people look at me and they feel, wow, he is an MD of a company or he's a senior VP, right? So that needs to be there. And occasion, again, very important, where you're going. You're going for a board meeting, you're going for a regular, you're entertaining your clients in the evening or during lunch. So there should be a difference in that as well. It's a very little thing, but it helps you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So where women have come, I do not have, I'm being very truthful about it. I have no male clients as of now. I'm dealing more with women. And these are the basic issues I've dealt with.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Reba? I mean, what do you think about this? Should
Yeah, so
men
I
also
also
come forward? Okay, sorry. Should men also come forward? Tell me.
men
Absolutely.
should definitely come
Definitely.
forward. Actually, when I first started out, I told all of my male friends and any male that I basically knew, I said, let me just let me try something with you, please. Let me introduce you to this concept of image consulting. And they were so shocked, at that point in time. So I'm not saying I got paid for it. It was when I just started out, but they were so happy with it. I have a lot of friends or male friends who are on the duskier side, and I see that they only wear black and white or gray, right?
Mhm.
Or like your dark blues. And when I actually introduced them to the concept of pastel colors, they literally were shocked. They have written like reviews for me saying that, I never tried this whole concept of color. I didn't think color was for me, because when men think of color, they think bright colors. But no, we play so much with tints and shades. So, for every color out there, every complexion out there, there's definitely a color that will work for you, a tint or a shade of a color that will work for you. So I really did it. I did it with a lot of men at that point in time, and they started seeing. Okay, so it was mostly for color analysis, where I saw men were very interested, so that they could increase the variety in their wardrobe. And that is when I saw the interest of men coming up, right? I also saw men were interested. I think I mentioned to you when they were like, ready to get married. That was the time when I saw men were
Yeah.
getting a little interested in this concept of image consulting. And I've seen men approach me when they're not being perceived as that manager level, when they feel like their bosses don't think that they can handle clients because of their image. So these three scenarios is where I've seen men are appreciating image consulting. But again, like Parul said, I think more women have approached me in as compared to men. And yeah, of course, even I'm going to be very honest, and I think I've only had like one paid male client. Okay. And I think we also feel a little awkward. It can be a little awkward unless you really know the person, or, it's come from someone who, they're not very, I don't know, sure. Yeah, forthcoming, absolutely, about taking on male clients. So
Okay.
definitely more women come to us as compared to men. But there are lots of male image consultants out there. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of men are also comfortable with, again, men as compared to women. So yeah.
Okay, I think that's good. So let the male audience decide here, and whosoever is watching,
Yes.
let them decide for themselves. So I think it's time for the audience to ask some questions. Let me just see what are the questions we have. Okay. There is a question about someone has asked. I don't know who has asked it here because there's no name here. How about Indian outfit only? Does it a myth to go for Western outfit for looking good or on image? That's what is written. Does it, I mean, is it a myth to go for Western outfit only, or Indian dresses, Indian attires are also perfectly all right when you talk about image consulting or
Not
management?
at
So
all,
as
not at all. I would like, okay, Rita, go ahead. Rita, go ahead.
no, go for it, go for it.
Okay, no, I would like to say that, that Indian attire is okay. Again, if you're going for a formal event, you can be mindful of what you're wearing.
Mhm.
Okay, you can be the pattern you're choosing, the color you're choosing, the fabric you're choosing. Okay, it's not about that you can only look good in Western wear, but in Indian wear also, if it's a formal occasion. I'm taking a professional kind of a scenario here.
Yeah.
So women want to wear saris. They can wear, jackets on saris. That
Mhm.
can absolutely look fabulous. They can wear pleated sari. The palla can be a pleated one. It could be the handloom print. It doesn't have to be that Georgette, that Sri Devi kind of saris for work,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So that's a total no-no. But in saris, of course, you look so graceful in saris. So why not go for saris? Then the pleats can be better. The pattern, the handloom saris look better. The colors can be, you can choose better colors. So
Yeah.
and in Indian wear, you can go for cigarette pants. They
Correct.
look very nice. You don't have to wear a salwar, or you don't have to wear churidar, of course. That
Mm.
used to be the thing, but right now, if you wear a cigarette pant and you wear a kurta or a shirt with a jacket, you can wear a Nehru jacket also, a sleeveless one on top of your kurta. It will definitely give you that authority, and people will perceive you in a very formal way. That's what I
Okay.
feel.
Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Riva.
same. I just like to add on, like a lot of these clients of ours that come to us are not comfortable wearing Western clothes because
True.
maybe of their body type, and they feel like Indian would
Absolutely.
suit you better, right? And Indian does suit all body types, like all body types. Okay,
True.
so we do love recommending Indian outfits, but we say opt for a stiffer fabric instead of, your very patla fabrics that get crumpled very easily, and then they look very unprofessional at the workplace.
Mm.
And we, as image consultants, want you to throw away all of your churidar pants. Okay, like it's time to throw them out, especially those cotton, like, those soft cotton ones which you think are so comfortable,
The
they're really
leggings.
not healthy for you.
Please don't wear leggings to work. Sorry.
Yeah, leggings. Yeah, exactly. So, that legging material. So that's how we sort of play with Indian. And that's when Parul said, cigarette pants or straight cut pants in the similar fabric and color of your your outfit on top or your salwar on top. That's going to be so much better. Adding a dupatta, right? And again, like a stiffer fabric is going to make your outfit look so much more professional if you don't like wearing a jacket or like a Nehru jacket or something like that. So just these small tweaks, the problem is that we as women and Indian women, we love the big prints and the loud colors, and we just like automatically get attracted to that. So we have to just be careful of that for the workplace. That's all that we recommend.
Right. Okay. Okay. Here is one person, Virendra. Virendra, can you unmute yourself and ask the question directly? And whom do you want to ask this question to?
Yeah, I would love to address this to both of them.
Okay.
My question was that is image consulting talking about only the external look and the mannerisms, or do we look beyond it and talk about the spiritual aspect and the emotional aspect, the inner side of the person.
Yeah. So Virendra has gone into SQ and EQ and all of that. So Virendra, just to sum up, we don't just look at the external, right? And this was something I was discussing with Manish and Parul the other day, and I said I can't put someone in a like a Tom Ford like a blazer, three-piece suit where that costs like 1 lakh rupees and expect you to feel confident. No, that's not going to happen. I can't put you in the world's best outfit, or I can't put you in Narendra Modi's clothes and expect you to feel like the prime minister or become the prime minister of India, right? We can't do that. And that's why Parul said that we work on your self-image, your inner image, your self-esteem, right? And
Yeah.
image management, we always say, is inside out. So we work on a lot of things that you picked up as a child. Okay, and we start to focus on that. We work to improve your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your inner image as well. And that helps with the kind of clothes you wear, because we say when you look good, you start to feel good, and when you feel good, you start to actually feel a lot more confident, right? So we always say look good, feel good.
Correct, correct.
Our core mottos.
I think
Yeah.
it's Virender. I think she answered your question to your satisfaction, I guess. And we have Aparajita. Do you want to ask something? Unmute yourself, please.
Yes, Manish, lovely ladies, thank you so much. This was such a nice explanation on what image consulting is. Like, I've just seen the advertisements on newspapers of what image consulting actually deals. Anyways, so what I was asking is like, do we bring in this kind of mannerism or your clothes like from for your children also, like from when they are young, you try to want to bring it to them at this point of time, or is it like once you grow big and then you join work and then you start off with all this?
Okay, Prajita,
Yeah, Parul has to
yes,
take this since she has a specialized course. Yeah.
I was also waiting for her to take this question.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry
Parul,
for that,
please.
Rima, but I'll take the lead here. So, since I was just mentioning, Aprajita, thank you for that lovely question. That I just, I've been doing these workshops for children on clothing grooming. So, you must be wondering, what do I tell them about when it comes to clothing? Okay, so I just tell them, number one, I always make the base with the grooming and hygiene very important. Later comes the clothing part. I always give importance to your grooming, how often you need to, wash your hair, your nails, your body odor, mouth odor. These are the very basics. And then we come to the clothing part of it. So clothing for children, I feel that I cannot go looking at the age group. So I can't go too much into the styling part of it, but I always tell them what patterns to wear, what color goes with what. So if you're wearing a trouser or a jeans, anything lower, which has a blue and a white, so your top cannot be pink, right?
Yeah.
So I give them these tips that how do you combine pattern? So pattern and, solid can be combined, but you don't wear a pattern together. Okay, in colors also, then you have a neutral and accent. So neutrals are your beige, your white, your blues and blacks. So neutral can go, neutral accent can go, but accent cannot go. So
Okay.
this is a very basic thing. Accent is a very bright orange and a bright pink. So you can imagine what you end up looking like, right? So if you want to wear an
Okay,
accent color,
thank you. But then is it that
balance it with a
from
neutral color.
I mean, even for children, we follow these rules?
Yes, because I think there's no harm if they know about all these things. So later, then I think they won't need you more because they'll be well equipped and they'll have the knowledge that what goes with what can be combined, what could be the length of the trouser, what kind of shoes should I wear. So if I'm going for a formal, should I wear
Okay.
open shoes? Should I wear closed shoes? Little things I think they need to know. They need to be made aware. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Also see how it
All
plays
right.
on their
Thank you. So
mindset.
bringing
No,
in
I
the
mean,
branding.
yeah. So sorry, I was just saying.
So bringing in a branding.
So when you say branding, are you talking about branded
Sorry.
clothes?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, I did. When I did this workshop, I showed them the brands what the children can, go in for, and I always tell them that you don't have to spend too much of money of your
Yeah.
parents for sure, and always buy clothes or anything from sales because two reasons: one, it goes out of trend, and one, you'll outgrow it because you're children. Okay, so there's no point of spending a million bucks on some trouser or a jean or a pair of shoes. You'll outgrow it.
Right.
So I tell them which brands to go in for, which are economical, and target sales. There's nothing wrong. I think you should target, the kids should always buy in sale. We also buy in sale, actually.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So,
Great,
okay,
thank you
good,
so
great.
much.
Aparajita, thank you so much for your question. We'll take one last question. We are running short of time. Okay. So, Rohini, you want to ask this question to whom? Please unmute yourself.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Manish, and thank you, Parul and Reba, for a wonderful session. Well, the question is to both of you, and it's very, inspired by very recent events. Like, I would like to ask, how do image consulting tips actually help make an impression in the current times, where all meetings, all interactions are virtual, and with the last year, the way the last year has been, the virtual world seems to be more real now. So what will be your tips for that? Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Parul, you want to take this?
Yeah, Reba, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I do all of my trainings online right now. Okay. And just imagine, I mean, just think about it. If I wore like a ripped t-shirt, like, t-shirt with like a few holes in it, and I had like absolutely no makeup on my face, and my hair was not like combed, or it was like a complete mess, or I looked like I just woke up from my sleep. How just think of the scale. Would you really be interested in listening to me if I called myself an image consultant? Wouldn't the first thought in your mind be, is she going to be taking this session? Like, should I be listening to her? I mean, she should look at herself first, right? So even in the virtual world, at least, I'm going to be very honest, at least the top half, you need to take care, right? You still need to take care of it. And wearing dull colors, you'll just appear a little more duller on camera, right? So we focus on color, so much color for the virtual world. And that's why you can see both of us today. I mean, it's not like we coordinated it, but we both chose color. We both definitely chose color, and we'll always choose color when we're doing virtual sessions, because you can only see the top half of my body, right? I mean, not even the top half, like maybe till my shoulders. So even this much matters, correct? I mean, especially, this is all grooming. And then this is a little bit of image consulting. So choosing what colors to wear, how it can impact your mood, especially when we're working virtually, because so many things at home are affecting our mood and then affecting our work. So we start to play with color to help enhance your mood. We tell you to use, and I encourage women to use a little bit of makeup, because it makes you feel so much better, right? Today, you can still see my dark circles. You can still see whatever, any blemishes that I probably have on my face, but just a little bit to feel fresh, to feel a little nicer. It impacts your work so much in the long run. And that is what image consulting helps with in the virtual space as well.
Okay.
Right.
Add.
Yes, add.
Okay, so adding to this, what Reba said, absolutely. I had done a video series on virtual presence where I had shared the tips for women to look good and attractive during a virtual session. So I'll just quickly share 3-4 tips. Number one is your lighting. Okay, always make sure the light comes from front, not behind, because your face will look blurred. Number two, do not have clutter when you have attending a Zoom call or anything. Either it has to be a plain wall or a curtain. Do not have too much of clutter, because that just draws the attention to the clutter more than to your face then. Okay, right. Wherever you sit. Number three is always get the attention to your face, because see, as you can see, we're only visible till here. So whatever attention has to go to the face. So your hair, your makeup, your necklines, and your accessories play a very, very important role here, and your colors of the clothes. Perfect. So what I will still say, whatever, it's not that you wear a pajama and a jacket up, wear a trouser or a lounge pant or something. Because that feel will not come, and don't sit in your slippers. That feel will never come. You'll never be up to it. You feel, so it has a beautiful psychology, when you dress up, the way it peps up your mood. So be it online. So just give importance to these few tips, and I'm sure you will look and you'll be very productive.
Perfect. Sure. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, Rohini, I think the answers have been apt from both of them. One quick last question from Virender. Okay. Now, Virender, I would like to answer this myself from my personal opinion, but I will, of course, request both of them to answer this. What he's saying is, does image consulting lead to overconfidence? Virender, in my personal opinion, without image consulting also a person can be still overconfident. right? So it has, I personally believe it has nothing to do with image consulting. It is all about feeling confident of yourself, how you carry yourself out in the public arena. Okay, but over to Reba and Parul both, if you want to add something to this.
Yeah, so I just like to say that, when an image consultant comes into play and when you see the difference that we've created in the way you used to look or the way you used to dress up versus now, you see the difference, and so you can't get overconfident. You just appreciate how amazing you look right now. And because you see the transformation, right? The difference of how you used to dress versus now. And so you cannot become overconfident. I've not seen a single person who I have given any image recommendation to who is now overconfident or egotistical, like just not at all, because they see, wow, that is how I used to dress up before and this is how I dress up now, and I just feel so good that there's this change in my life. So it will definitely not help you become overconfident, but it will help with your confidence levels. And the moment, even if you start to feel like now I'm perfect and I'm great, you would still go back to that moment where you knew that at that point in time you used to dress up like that, and that has changed. And it's only appreciation that comes into play, that I'm so happy that I took this decision to incorporate these new elements into my life, into my wardrobe.
Absolutely. I would just like to sum up saying it is self-confidence, not overconfidence.
Yeah.
A self-confident person, not an overconfident person, for sure.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Parul and Reba. Thank you so much for your time and the wonderful tips that you have given to the audience who's been watching you. And thank you for the audience. Wonderful questions, wonderful interaction with us. And we'll come back to you with another interesting topic next week. And we have still not planned it. I think it is going to be somewhere around storytelling. So let us get into some fun stories next week. And till then, thank you so much and bye-bye. Thank you so much, Parul. Thank you, Reba.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.